In the heart of America's wealthiest cities, a hidden crisis festers, hundreds of thousands living on the streets, invisible to the world that celebrates the American dream. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on the 10 largest U.S. cities turning into zombie cities and ask, how did the richest nation on earth let this happen? New York City promises a legal right to shelter, a bold guarantee that no one will be left without a roof over their head, no matter the circumstances. But the reality is far from compassionate. Shelters are overcrowded with long lines stretching down city blocks and resources stretched thin. Families are packed into hotel rooms meant for tourists, not for long-term living, often sharing tight spaces with strangers and little privacy. Many working full-time still return to a cot each night, exhausted from jobs that barely cover basic needs, forced to choose between food, transportation, and a sense of stability. The system meant to help often traps people in a cycle of misery, offering survival, not hope. For many, the promise of shelter becomes a sentence to uncertainty. Billions are spent each year, yet the crisis only deepens, with more people entering the system than finding a way out. For tens of thousands, New York's promise is a cruel joke, a city of ambition and opportunity, but for many, a place where escape from homelessness feels impossible. The disconnect between intention and outcome is stark, with empty luxury apartments standing in contrast to packed shelters and growing encampments. New York's struggle shows how even the best intentions can collapse under the weight of a crisis this big, leaving both officials and residents frustrated and searching for answers. The city's vertical dreams have left too many stuck at ground level, waiting for a solution that still feels out of reach. Los Angeles is a city that sells dreams to the world, a place where the sun always seems to shine and the promise of success feels just around the corner. But just blocks from the glitz of Hollywood, Skid Row sprawls, 50 blocks of human suffering and hardship hidden in plain sight. Skyrocketing rents and stagnant wages have pushed thousands into homelessness, including professionals like professors, nurses, and service workers. The cost of living here has become unbearable for many, forcing people from all walks of life onto the streets. The city pours billions into solutions, building shelters, funding outreach, and launching new programs. Yet for every person housed, more fall through the cracks, overwhelmed by a system that can't keep up with the growing need. Encampments now line beaches, parks, and underpasses, poverty and wealth existing side by side, a stark reminder of the city's deep inequalities and the fragile line between comfort and crisis. LA manufactures dreams, but for many, it's a daily fight for survival. The contrast between hope and despair is visible on every street corner and every neighborhood. The California dream has become a nightmare for the city's most vulnerable as families and individuals struggle to find safety, dignity, and a place to call home. Policy failures and moral failures collide here as leaders debate solutions and communities demand action, but real change remains elusive. Los Angeles is now the epicenter of America's urban homelessness crisis, a city of sunshine and shadows where the struggle for dignity continues every day. In Chicago, winter is deadly for the unhoused. Sub-zero temperatures and biting winds make survival a daily battle. High property taxes and a shrinking population have gutted public services, leaving shelters overwhelmed. Many choose tents over shelters, seeking autonomy despite the risks. The city's resilience is tested by a crisis with no easy answers. Chicago's big shoulders are slumped under the weight of economic hardship and a harsh climate. Houston once led the way with housing first, but explosive growth and climate disasters have pushed its systems to the brink. Hurricanes and floods displace thousands overnight, overwhelming shelters and resources. The city fights a war on two fronts: economic displacement and relentless natural disasters. Each storm threatens to erase years of progress. Houston's struggle shows how quickly hope can be washed away by inequality and climate change. In Phoenix, the sun is deadly. Summer heat regularly tops 110 degrees, turning the city into a concrete oven for the homeless. Soaring rents have forced thousands onto the streets, where heat stroke and dehydration are constant threats. Cooling centers and water drives save lives, but they're only emergency measures. The Zone, Phoenix's largest encampment, symbolizes a city's failure to provide affordable housing. Economic booms have left many behind, exposed to the elements. Phoenix is a testament to prosperity's dark side. In Philadelphia, the opioid crisis and homelessness collide on Kensington Avenue, now infamous as an open-air drug market. Potent drugs like fentanyl and tranq have devastated communities, fueling addiction and homelessness. The city's resources are overwhelmed. Emergency services, hospitals, and police stretch to the limit. Proposals for safe consumption sites spark fierce debate, highlighting desperation and division. Kensington is a wound on the city's conscience, where brotherly love is in short supply. Philadelphia's crisis is a public health catastrophe with no easy answers. San Antonio sits at the crossroads of homelessness and immigration as thousands of migrants arrive with nowhere to go. Shelters and services already stretched thin now face overwhelming demand. The city and charities scramble to provide food, shelter, and legal aid, but the volume is staggering. San Antonio's crisis reveals how homelessness is tangled with national immigration policy. Compassion collides with logistical reality in a city struggling to keep up. San Diego's postcard-perfect image hides a growing crisis. Homeless encampments now line rivers, parks, and downtown streets. Sky-high housing costs squeeze out workers, students, and seniors alike. City bans on encampments only push the problem from one block to the next. The gap between the city's image and reality is impossible to ignore. For thousands, America's finest city is now a place of desperation and instability. Dallas, booming and sprawling, faces a growing homeless crisis. Encampments under highways, cities under the city. The housing-first model has helped, but the scale of need outpaces available housing and support. Reintegration is tough. Trauma, addiction, and lack of job skills persist even after housing. The city's sprawl makes accessing services a monumental challenge for those without cars. Dallas embodies the struggle of modern cities to keep up with rapid growth and deepening inequality. San Francisco, once the heart of the tech revolution and a beacon of innovation, is now a symbol of catastrophic inequality and social upheaval. The city that once promised opportunity for all has become a cautionary tale. The tech boom drove costs so high that even the middle class is fleeing, leaving a city of extremes. Skyrocketing rents and home prices have pushed out families, teachers, and artists, transforming neighborhoods into playgrounds for the ultra-wealthy. Neighborhoods like the Tenderloin are now defined by open-air drug use, visible suffering, and a sense of abandonment, just steps from the headquarters of the world's most powerful tech giants. The contrast is impossible to ignore. The city's social contract is broken. Wealth is concentrated in a few hands, while the poor and vulnerable are left behind, struggling to survive in the shadows of immense prosperity. Just outside the city, places like Slab City offer a desperate kind of freedom, a stark mirror to San Francisco's failures. Here, people carve out lives on the margins, far from the city's glittering promise. San Francisco's story is a warning. Unimaginable wealth and innovation can't solve a crisis if the will to act isn't there. The tech exodus has left behind empty offices and broken dreams. The dream of San Francisco has been replaced by a grim reality, one defined by deep inequality, despair, and a city struggling to find its soul once again. Coast to coast, America's cities are haunted by homelessness, a crisis fueled by soaring costs, stagnant wages, addiction, and broken systems. Billions are spent, but the problem only grows. Our greatness is measured by how we treat the vulnerable, and by that measure, we're failing. Can America find the will to end this nightmare, or will our cities continue to decay? Share your thoughts in the comments. What solutions do you see in your city? If you found this video informative, like and subscribe for more.